Hello, my name is Constance Rathbun. I'm a French major hoping to complete a bachelor's degree. I'm a junior re-entering college after a hiatus. My school is Montclair State University. And my best memory of making a difference in my community was during 9/11. I did not experience it directly. I was, however, sitting in the Frank Sinatra Park the day before. I remember that day turning on the TV and seeing the explosion. I ran into my front yard and I could see the smoke, the smell of diesel, and the unspeakable stench of bodies. Um, After that, I joined the American Red Cross and volunteered as an emergency response vehicle driver. So that's how I made a difference in my community. Unfortunately, I never had to actually go down into the pit, but I was assigned to the Get Ready Preparedness, which is helping people to prepare in case of an evacuation. And we did the cots in the Brooklyn Navy Yard and cages we set up in case of any further disaster and having to evacuate. And people who were part of that program got first dibs on any ships leaving out of port. So thankfully, there were no more mass casualties, and I hope to make changes in my community by notifying the staff where I live of the abhorrent abuses that are going on, and when you do, of them violating your rights when your key's missing and you've been robbed in this senior community, and have people creeping around at night, turning lights off, and allowing boyfriends to live here, which is illegal, and people from out of state. But in any case, um, when you notify them, they call the police and make like you had an emergency, which you weren't having, and don't replace your lock for 2 years. So that's very disturbing. And so I've been advocating for the seniors here and making a report to the Attorney General's office, a violation of my rights to be unable to make a civil a complaint, and going in and out without ever being stalked by a neighbor following me. And if I had an emergency, that would be up to me to say that, or by staff acting, terrorizing the community here because of their positions, apparently. I was left with no lock for 2 years before they finally replaced it. The manager just called me like within a month ago. This is 2 years ago, and it's just so disturbed. People putting food out, and that's another violation of endangering the community because we get bears here. And having boyfriend live here, breaking state law by having guests from out of state. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but anyway. Um, so that's what I'm doing to make a difference in my community, and why I feel that this would be a good fit is because this is what I'm doing to stand up for my rights and for the community here. So this is where they had 68 bodies hidden in the basement here in New Jersey, in Sussex County. And the police, when I asked for the tapes, because I was sitting in my apartment minding my business without having any kind of emergency or problem, she just needed to change my lock. I believe that was Ingrid Brinster. Won't release the tapes, and they're taking people to hospitals and saying they were having emergencies, and they're treating people for a loss of key as if you had an emergency without asking what your symptoms are and administering a drug by some Dr. Jeffrey Hall, and then not asking whatever kind of symptoms or if you're sick or anything, and just start have you in such fear that taking tests for things you're not even experienced. So I don't know if it's a Medicare fraud thing, but in any case, um, this is my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I hope to find a good lawyer who has honest values and believes in our democracy before it's too late. That's how the Holocaust started, with Hitler whipping people into a frenzy and being brainwashed and out of fear and turning their neighbors and all this. Sort of like that. That is why I feel this is necessary and would be good for me and for the world to do the right thing. Thank you. And P.S. Aside from any award, I would ask to be represented in these matters. I think that's more important, and you can keep your money. But I'm entering the scholarship program anyway, and thank you for listening to my story. I greatly appreciate it because I'm up against a total brick wall. Why? I do not know.